She stood at the edge of my porch with her clipboard, tapping her pen like she was about to rewrite the law. "One guest room," she said, with that smug little smile. "It's not like you need it up here all alone." I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at the mountains behind her, snow still clinging to the ridges. This house was mine. My father built it with his bare hands, every nail, every beam. Ours. And now some HOA president who moved in 6 months ago thought she could just ask for a room? "I'm not interested," I finally said, keeping my voice steady. That's when she stepped closer. "You have to comply, Mr. Torres. It's part of our new Community Shared Resources Policy, Section 14C. "There is no Section 14C. "Oh," she laughed, pretending like she didn't just try to bluff me. "Then I guess you'll be hearing from the HOA legal team." I shut the door. I thought that was the end of it. The next morning, there was a bright orange notice nailed to my front gate. "Notice of violation. Unauthorized refusal to cooperate with HOA accommodation mandate." My gate's 4 miles from any main road. That meant she hiked up just to post that herself. She wanted to make a point. By noon, I'd already been tagged in the community app. Why is Mr. Torres hoarding space when the Miller boy needs a place to recover? Isn't he ex-military? Shouldn't he understand what sacrifice means? I don't even know who the Millers are. By evening, someone parked a car halfway up my driveway with their hazard lights on, like they were claiming the space. And that's when I saw her again, leaning against the car, phone to her ear, waving at me like she already won. Then, without breaking eye contact, she said into the phone loud enough for me to hear, "Yes, officer, he's being very aggressive." But I wasn't walking toward her. I wasn't even on the porch anymore. I was watching from behind the curtain as another car rolled up behind hers, a black SUV, tinted windows, and when the door opened, it wasn't the cops, it was my attorney, and that's when everything started to flip. She saw him step out and froze for a second, like her brain couldn't catch up. My attorney, Marcus Hale, didn't wear flashy suits or carry a briefcase. He wore denim, boots, and a leather jacket older than both of us. But once you heard him speak, you realized this man didn't lose. "Afternoon," he said calmly, nodding at her like he didn't just drive up a mountain to deal with insanity. She straightened up fast. "And who are you?" He didn't answer her right away. Instead, he walked toward me, shook my hand, and said loud enough for her to hear, "Did she already trespass? Or are we still in the warning phase?" Karen, yes, I'll call her what she is, laughed nervously. "I'm the president of this HOA. I have every right to inspect this property for community compliance. Your client is in violation of the updated charter." Marcus turned slowly toward her. "There is no updated charter. The last legitimate filing was 2 years ago. Everything you've issued since is unenforceable and borderline criminal." That knocked the smile off her face. "Suggest you leave," he added, "before you add another count to the list." But she wasn't done. Karen's type never is. She pulled out her phone again and started filming. "You're harassing me. This is harassment. I'm documenting everything. The community needs to see how dangerous he is." Marcus didn't flinch. "Perfect. I'll use that footage in court." And then she slipped. Big time. She muttered under her breath, not realizing my security cameras caught every word. I should have just said he hit me. Marcus heard it. I saw his jaw tighten. "We're done here," he said, stepping toward her now. "You need to leave this property and don't contact my client again." But instead of leaving, she reached into her purse and pulled out another notice, this time folded like a legal document. She slammed it on the hood of her car. "I'm suing you for non-compliance and emotional damages. Hope your little cabin can cover the cost." Then she smirked like she had delivered some final blow. But Marcus picked up the paper, skimmed it, and started laughing. Not a big laugh. Just one of those quiet, dangerous ones that means she messed up bad. He handed me the paper without a word. At the top it said, "Superior Court of Blue Ridge County." Only. Problem was, there is no superior court in Blue Ridge County. There never has been. That's when Marcus looked at me and said the words that changed everything. She just filed a fake lawsuit. On record. Karen didn't realize how deep she'd just walked into it. She thought printing out a fake court document would scare me into giving up a room in my own house. She thought a man living alone in the mountains would just fold under pressure. She didn't know who I was. Marcus folded the fake lawsuit and slid it into his jacket. This is criminal impersonation of a court filing. Minimum of 5 years if the judge wants to make a point. Karen blinked, probably hoping he was bluffing. You don't scare me. I know people. Good, Marcus said, stepping closer. I do too. One of them happens to be the judge. She went pale. I didn't say a word. I just watched her get back in her car, hands shaking as she fumbled for the keys. She didn't leave, though. She sat there for a while, still holding her phone, like she was waiting for backup. That backup came, just not the way she planned. 2 sheriff's deputies pulled up in a cruiser, tires crunching over gravel. I recognized both of them. One was new, still green. The other was Miller. Not the Miller Karen claimed needed a room. Sheriff Miller. The guy who coached my son's baseball team before the accident. Karen jumped out like she'd been rescued. Thank God you're here. He's threatening me, and this man, pointing at Marcus, he's pretending to be a lawyer. Miller looked at me, then at Marcus. That true? Marcus pulled out his state bar card and handed it over like he was showing ID at a bar. Been licensed longer than she's been a menace. The young deputy held the fake court paper, squinting at it. This isn't real. Sheriff Miller sighed. He walked past her like she was invisible and shook my hand. You doing okay, Eli? I nodded. Better now. Karen was still talking, like if she kept going, someone might believe her. This man's hoarding property. He's violating our emergency housing order. There is no emergency order, Miller said, finally turning to her. And even if there was, you're not in charge of it. She laughed, but it was hollow now. You don't understand, this isn't personal, it's for the community. That's funny, he replied, pulling out handcuffs. Because trespassing, filing fake legal documents, and impersonating a court is personal. The cuffs clicked around her wrists, and for the first time she went quiet. But just as they were putting her in the cruiser, she said something that froze the air around us. You think this ends with me? And that's when Marcus looked at me and said, She's not acting alone, is she? I didn't answer right. Away. I was still staring at the spot where Karen had stood, her echo still hanging in the mountain air like smoke from a fire not fully put out. Marcus turned to me. Eli, how many people have access to that HOA board? I looked at the cabin, looked at my land, then back toward the curve of the mountain road. 5, I said finally. 5 board members, and not one of them ever set foot up here, not until Karen. Marcus nodded slowly. Then she's just the face. Someone else is pulling the strings. Sheriff Miller leaned against his cruiser, arms crossed, concern building on his face. You said she posted a violation notice herself? Yeah, nailed it to my gate. And you've had no mail, no phone calls, no official HOA communication before that? Nothing, I said. Just silence. Then all at once, this circus. Marcus pulled out his phone and started typing something fast. I'm running. The names of every active HOA board member. Let's see who they're connected to. But I already had a name in my head. Gordon Nash. The same man who tried to buy this land from my father 10 years ago. The same guy who called it wasted potential because we wouldn't let him. Develop the mountain into vacation rentals. He vanished from the area after my dad died, or so I thought. I think I know who's behind this, I said. Marcus stopped typing. Say it. Gordon Nash, real estate developer. Used to own the strip mall down in Pine Creek before it caught fire. Miller straightened up. That fire was ruled suspicious. Never proved anything, but yeah, I remember Nash. And get this, I said, heart thudding. Last week, I got an offer in the mail. No return address. Just a number and a note. One way or another, this land is changing hands. I didn't think anything of it. Now Marcus was pacing. Karen wasn't trying to use your guest room, he muttered. She was trying to create a legal crack in your property rights. If you gave her access just once, they could claim you opened the land to shared use. It's an old developer trick. And if I refused, I said, connecting the dots, they'd frame me as hostile. Isolate me, push me out with legal noise.